Grace?
Yeah, we have a question here from Sarah in Los Angeles, California.
Los
She's asking,
Angeles. Okay.
she's asking, my green card misspelled my middle name, but everything else is correct. Can I travel abroad and return to the US without problems?
Again, about filling form. This is strange now. We're getting so many of these because there's so many of these happening now. Things that are nothing before, all of a sudden are becoming big deals for filling of forms. So Sarah, I would say possibly yes, because a minor typographical error on your green card or permanent resident does not automatically prevent you from traveling. However, it will result in additional questions or delays when you return to the US as a practical matter, so that you know I'm talking to you from not just from legal experience, but from experiential thing. My wife had her date of birth switched on her green card. You know, in Nigeria, we put the day before the month and the year. In America, you put the month before the day. So when the green card thing was happening, even though we filled the whole thing correct, that's what helped us. When they look at the original form we filled, we put our dates of birth where it's supposed to be. But when they were printing it, they switched it around. And when we got it, I said, let's go change this thing. But she wasn't ready to do it. Then we were about to travel. I'm talking about this is many years ago now. This is over 10 years. This is even before Donald Trump time. Right? She traveled on it many times. And then one day, she got into trouble with it. Because now, some diligent person is now telling her, this is not your date of birth. This is different. Luckily, I was there with her. We had to argue the stuff a little bit. And then they let us in, and we had to go change it immediately. So typically, it will you might get away with it for a while, okay? But just understand this. It could result in additional questions, either at this end, when you're coming back, or even at the end of your country, in your country of origin when you go. Because sometimes the officers at the embassy of our country of birth, now some of them are hostile for some reason, especially if you carry an American passport or American green card. I'm not going to say it's jealousy, but they're doing their job. So you can't call it jealousy. They may have been willing to let you pass before, but they know the kind of stress that citizens get in America. So why should they let you just walk in and out like that? So it may raise additional questions, either at your point of origin or where you're going. So before traveling, compare the name on your green card with your passport and other identification. If the discrepancy is limited to a few missing letters in your middle name or your identity, and your identity is otherwise very clear, CBP, that's the Custom and Border Patrol, can often verify your status by themselves. They get what they need to get, they will check on their system and be able to clear you. But then you might be put in secondary inspection. You don't want that. That is when other stuff start to come up, stuff that you thought were dead. Because by the time they pull up all your record, things that don't matter, if you had your documents correct, that won't show up. All of a sudden, they are seeing that DUI that was dismissed against you. Now, problem is starting. They are seeing that phone call where your spouse called 911, and then when they got there, they said there's no problem. And 911 went away, but the record is there. You don't want secondary inspection. Even me as a lawyer with American citizenship for more than how many years? More than 15 years, I don't want secondary inspection because anything can happen. So if time allows, you should consider requesting a corrected green card from immigration. Yes, it will cost you some money if you have to use a lawyer. If you don't want to use a lawyer, get their form. They have forms that will allow you to correct it. Take care of it. If you must travel urgently, carry supporting documentation. And if available, documentation showing the correct spelling of your name. If the error was made by immigration, you will be eligible to request a replacement card without even having to pay any money. If they made a mistake, like in the case of my wife, we got a new one without having to pay, because we're able to prove from the copies of what we filed that the mistake is not from us, that the mistake from them. They are human beings too, they make mistake. It may not be them. It might be those who are printing the card. Anybody can make a mistake. So if it is on their side, they will waive the fee for you. But if it's on your side, you're going to pay a token fee. And I think that is fair. If you made a mistake and they have to print your card again, you shouldn't be expecting the government to pay for that. But deal with it, Sarah. Now, don't wait until it's a problem, because then it's going to cost you a lot more than you bargained for. I say this all the time. A stitch in time now saves you aggravation, because when immigration problem has come, lawyer is not collecting $100 from you anymore. You're going to be hearing down payment 10,000, 5,000, 20,000. It will be like dream, and you don't need that. Something you could solve with a $100 consultation or take care of now. If you are so sure of how to fix it yourself, then fix it. So that would be my advice to everybody, not just Sarah at this point. If you have a discrepancy in your records, this is not something you just say is minor. Even if it's your middle initial that was spelled wrong, you got to fix it before it becomes a problem. Even if you have been getting away with traveling with it for a while. Just like my wife, she got away with it for more than 6-7 years. Nothing happened until that day that something happened.